Just looking at you, you're another one of those with a painting in the attic, aren't you? Like Cliff Richard.
Never, never.
The unblemished countenance.
Not me, no. No.
Any beauty tips?
I'm an old person,
so young?
Really.
Huh?
A very old person, really.
Old inside, but the outside is fairly unblemished, isn't it?
Well, it's, you know, it's a little bit of this and a touch of that.
20 years since Eleanor Rigby and 21 years since you got the MBEs. And it's your 15th post-Beatle album. So has it got any easier?
No. Definitely has. Got harder, actually. Last time I was here was for Cracker Jack.
You'll be getting your pencils, be quiet.
Double or drop.
How do you still do it? I mean, how do you motivate yourself to write?
I just actually enjoy it. You know, but a lot of people ask me that question. It's kind of like, maybe I should jack it in, you know. Mm. But I actually...
Wasn't saying you should jack it in.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. No, I just actually enjoy doing it. It's something... I think I'd do it as a hobby if I didn't do it for a profession.
But you don't find that the incentive is missing? I mean, obviously, when you start, you want to make a few quid, and you want to get on, you want to be famous.
Well, originally, we did, obviously, like, not having any money, we did used to sort of write a song and say, well, you know, there's a swimming pool. But the real motivation was just that we always enjoyed doing it, you know, and it's still the same. I still want to make a decent record.
And that's your inspiration, is it? I mean, what about your family? Do they inspire you to write?
Oh,
does it all come from inside you?
They're all watching now, you know, Terry.
Are they?
Hi, family.
Family.
Well, you know, yeah, it's like that. You know, if things that happen to you in your day, I think it comes into your songs. Mm. But it's strange where they come from. I couldn't begin to tell you, really.
Can you apply a sort of critical assessment to yourself? Can you separate the good from the bad? Do you know what is dross and what's gold?
Well, I try to, you know, but sometimes a little bit of dross slips through.
Yeah, but, I mean, do you use anybody as a sounding board?
No, generally, I used to do that for a little while. I used to kind of think, you know, I'll play it to so-and-so and so, see if he or she likes it. But I think in the end, you've got to like it yourself. That's the big one. Because if you like it, I was talking to someone the other day, it's the same with remembering it too, because when John and I started, we'd write a song on the Tuesday, and they didn't have tape recorders in those days. So, like, if we forgot it on the Wednesday, it was just obviously not a good song.
Yeah.
So,
do you? Well, I mean, are you too big now to listen to criticism? I mean, presumably John used to give you plenty of criticism. Is there anybody
too big now, actually.
Yeah, me too. What's too big? I'm too big.
Well, you're looking all right to me, actually. You've been on holiday.
Yes. Close the old jacket.
Been away.
But do you listen to criticism? Are you still open to it?
No, actually, I like criticism because, as you say, there is a danger that people are frightened to tell me. You know, I'm not going to tell him it's lousy. Yeah. You tell him.
How do you get them to tell you the truth without being fired?
I keep saying, you won't be fired if you tell me. No, but you must have that problem.
Yeah, well, I don't like any criticism.
That's not what they told me. Yeah. Yes, you know, you've got to... I'd rather find out before I release the record than afterwards.
Yeah. Now, post-Beatle, you said about forming a band. Why was that? I mean, you could easily have been a solo, Paul McCartney, and carried on with enormous success. Why did you want to form a band? Do you need people around you?
Well, I mean, I thought, at the time, well, if I don't form a band and I don't keep in the business, then after a couple of years, I'm going to find I can't sing. And I haven't got that knack in front of an audience. You know, you can lose it dead easy, as you've noticed. But, you know, so I did it really just to kind of keep oiled like an athlete, sort of, to keep doing it in case I ever really wanted to get serious again.
But does it still work for you? I mean, do you still feel as fresh now if you go out on stage? I mean, you seem to enjoy the Prince's Trust, for instance. And you haven't done a lot of live for a long time. No,
I really do like it. On something like the Prince's Trust, I had such an incredible backing band that I defy anyone to dislike that. You know, that was just incredible, just standing there. And they're such fine musicians that they lift you. And when you're singing with someone like Tina Turner and Paul Young, I mean, you're just lifted, you know, and it's a great experience. I wouldn't give it up for the world.
Would you go back and do live concerts now?
Yes. When should we do it? Thank you.
Would you have enough confidence? Are you the kind of person that has enough confidence to get out there on your own and do it?
I've never actually tried, really. The only time I ever really got out on my own was when we did Live Aid. And my mic went off. So that was terrifying,
Yeah,
you know, in
cool.
front of 50 billion people. But I prefer to be with a band. I like the kick that other people give you.
Now, you're approaching your middle years, stealthily.
Approaching?
Stealthily.
I'm there.
Are you?
Believe me.
How old are you now? I used to watch you when I was a very young boy.
I remember you, actually. You got crackerjack. You were up in the audience. Eamon Andrews gave you a pencil.
I had the pencil. That's what happened.
Yeah. What was the question?
Approaching the middle years.
Yes.
How do you cope with getting old?
Getting older, not very well. In truth, I don't really mind too much because it's a whole different thing that's happening to you. When I was sort of 20, it was screaming fans and all of that, which was great for a bachelor and stuff. Well, now I'm kind of 44, which is what I have to...
Yeah, never.
There's a broth of a boy.
You're right, you are past middle age.
I know.
I'm 88.
What are you now, Terry?
Very old. Older than 44, I'll
Oh,
tell
yeah?
you. Yeah.
Just a year or two.
And you're the dad now, same as
Yes,
yourself.
that's what I was going to say.
Did you ever think that had happened to you, looking back and saying, I'm going to be a dad one day with teenage children?
I remember, it was one of my kind of earliest memories being about 5 years old and thinking, I might well be a dad. You know, I'm a fella. There's
Yeah.
every chance. And it was a very weird kind of thing, you know, to actually think you'd be telling people what to do in life and stuff. But that is what I like about middle age, is that it's a different ballgame altogether. You learn it's new stuff every day, you know. It's not your bachelor days at all, is it?
But do you regret being Paul McCartney and having to bring your children up in the spotlight of fame and meet the glare of publicity all the time?
Well, I mean, you know, probably a little bit. I feel more sorry for them, really, than myself, yeah.
Well, how do you keep them out of the spotlight? And you've done that very successfully.
Just whack them occasionally.
As soon as the lights come on, you give them a good whack.
Nice, give them a good whack. No, I'm very lucky. My kids are pretty normal, and have always been sort of normal. And I think I've seen friends of mine sort of normal. Did you hear that, kids? I've seen friends of mine who've gone the other route, and they've given their kids to nannies, and they've given their kids flash cars and stuff like that. And it can tend to go for them. You know, it spoils them, in fact, and the kids can get so they don't appreciate anything. So at the risk of being called a skinflint, I've always tried to treat mine about how I was treated, a little better, because obviously I got more money than my dad had.
In a kind of traditional way.
A very traditional.
How did you explain, for instance, the facts of life to your children? Did you do that like your dad?
No, not like my dad, no. My dad had a great explanation. He said, see those Alsatians over there? Yeah. That was it.
Because you find they applaud the most extraordinary
Isn't
things.
it wonderful? I'm glad they're there, though.
So your dad really wanted you to go out and attack an Alsatian?
Alsatians.
But you've tried to be
Arrested by the
a
RSPCA.
traditional dad, and they haven't resented the fact that you haven't let them have more than a couple of quid a week.
Well, they've resented it occasionally, like any kids would. You know, they say, well, I want 5 sweaters. And you say, shut up, you're having 1, if you're lucky. You know, I think it's better that... Well, I'll tell you what has happened is they do appreciate that 1 sweater.
Yeah, they haven't rebelled, though, have they? They in any
rebelled.
sense challenged your authority and said, you got plenty of money, why can't I have a car, why can't I have this and that?
A little bit of that, but as I said, I'm lucky. You know, we're a pretty close family, and we can talk things out. My eldest daughter, Heather, is 23 now.
Yeah.
She's over there.
Oh, yeah.
And she was into punk a lot, and they were good kids, you know, all their friends. So they looked very aggressive on the surface, but her friends were very nice. But we did have an argument, obviously, a couple of times when they're teenage. You know, you have an argument. She stormed off once. She went to see her friends, and but she was nice. She came back and explained to me what had happened. She'd said to her friends, I've had an argument with the old man. And her friends at the time said, well, don't worry. Said, any trouble from him, and you can go to the newspapers. So I thought it was time to move.
Yeah. How about, from the point of bringing up your children,